Well, hi my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I'm laughing already because Jay is busted. Did you notice something strange when the beginning photos came on and the calendar said July? I know it's August by the time you see the video, this tutorial, but I am telling you, my mojo went on vacation and refuses to come home. I have looked under things, looked in drawers, looked in books, looked on the YouTube. I have looked everywhere for my crafting mojo. And my mojo is nowhere to be found. So, I use a calendar. It's mainly for me to make sure that I stay on track and try to always produce at least something every month of the year. Now I've gotten better and I usually do more than one thing, but it's just a way to check and balance on myself to keep me like, okay, Jay, you need to do something. So here I am in August, but I'm putting up for this tutorial, I'm using the July calendar because this goes with that calendar, the color in the calendar. So this is, I just got busted, but never fear. I'll have something for August. So, how's everyone? I hope you are well. I hope you're safe. And I hope your mojo hasn't left you like mine has. But I'm decided to come up with something, and as you can see, it's not even finished. In fact, I just started it. But I thought that's a great idea. On the title, I'm calling this Jay's Knit a New Start Lace Shawl. A new start. Oh gosh. Well, this would be great for some beginners. You know the basic of knitting, or you've been around it enough that you understand what I'm going to share with you, and you understand the needles and the yarn and all of that. Then I have a lot of returning knitters, people who used to knit years ago, people who have maybe had relatives or friends that taught them some stitches, and throughout the years they've done it here and there, but due to just life, maybe they have not been into it as much. Well, guess what? This is for you. New or returning, or just want to build your skills, or just like me, you just need a new start. This is Jay's Knit a New Start Lace Shawl. And I'm just going to walk you through. Since I'm starting at the beginning, you may as well start with me. And let's just see how much fun we can have. And of course, eventually, I will do I'll wear it. I'll have a finish, on down the road, and, of course, I'll wear the shawl. But in the meanwhile, we may as well get started. So let me just give you an idea of what you're going to need, and then we will work some stitches together. Back in just a minute. All right, so for supplies, look in your stash, or first of all, you're going to need some number 8. I'm using US number 8 knitting needles. If you prefer US number 7, well, number 7s, if you just like lighter weight, smaller, working with smaller needles, because we're going to be working with number 3 weight yarn, or baby yarn, or sports yarn. And if you'd rather have a smaller needle than number 8, you are welcome to use that. Some of them even call for number 6s, but now that's too small for me. So my yarn of choice for this project, everyone, everywhere, you get to pick. Look through your stash. This is a stash buster. Look and see if you have a couple of skeins of baby weight. I have a lot of this Premier Everyday Baby, so that's why I wanted to use it. You may have some sports weight. I used to have a lot of Bernat sports weight. Oh, I love that yarn. It had a pretty sheen to it. But I got tired of looking through some of the yarns and stuff, so I found a couple skeins of this and I just went with it. So this is a stash buster. So either a number 7 knitting needle. I've got circulars, maybe 29, 32, or 36 inch, whatever you have in circular needles, unless you like straight. But a number 8, and like I said, if you're a person that likes smaller, you want to go down smaller, then go down to a number 7. But these are done, I'm doing mine on number 8, because that's the needle I'm most comfortable with. And like I said, I've got all this small yarn. So that's 2 things you just need to go and look in your stash already. See? Saving your time, and you don't have to try to go out or do anything or order. I'm sure you can find yourself a few skeins, all right, to work with. And I'm reading off my sheet, and of course this sheet is going to be up on the screen. Once this section is over, I'll put all the information on my information sheet. There we go. All right, but I'm just going to read off of it. All right, we cover the needles, and this stitch is just a random stitch. You can find it. It's everywhere. I've used this stitch so much, I think I may even find the sweater. I've got some sweaters from years ago that I used this stitch on. It's just a nice little, let me hold it up. Maybe you can remove this one so you can see it through the background. Kind of a diamond lace or lattice stitch. Can you see that? So it just, and it's an edge stitch. So, you know, I like edges because, edging stitches, because I like to put them on the edge of my shawls. I use this style shawl because it's kind of what I learned, and it's easy to figure out and make the edging or edge stitches, you know, to knit with them. And there's a lot of pretty stitches that you can find to work with. I think it's so this is more like the Bacchus style shawl, where you knit up, then knit across the back, and then knit down. Makes sense. Many of you have, like my teacher shawl, many of you have done shawls with me. So that's what this one is. So let's see if there's anything else. You're going to need a couple of stitch markers, your needles, your yarn, a couple of stitch markers, and really that's all, because I'm going to demonstrate everything else when we actually stitch row by row. There are 12 rows in this pattern, but only 6, you know, 6 are purl and the other 6 are the pattern stitches. So it doesn't take a lot of time. You know, it's not anything. And like I said, this stitch is so easy. I have used it so many times. It is just perfect for a beginner. There's no purling in here. We're just going to work in a garter stitch. Just knit every row. And of course, I'm going to give you a working formula. And that's my little one-line way I work. I made up a little formula using, you know, the information that I could find on the stitch, plus adding my own information or design to make us a shawl so that we can use the stitch. Does that make sense? All right, I think that covers everything that you're going to see on our sheet. So that will go up after this. So I need you to get your needles ready, get your yarn, the working formula. You're going to cast on a total of 17 stitches and knit 2 rows. And I'm gonna break down the formula as we get ready to knit. But just so you can go ahead and get ready, you're going to cast on 17 stitches. Like I said, you'll be able to see this on screen. I know you can't. Know this has a reflection. And you're just going to go ahead and knit 2 rows. And then I will see you. We'll get ready to knit row 1 of this New Start lace shawl. Just for my friends. Because my mojo is gone. Back in just a minute. Okay, you've had a chance to look at the information sheet. And as you can see, I have 2 samples that I've started. Well, I started this one, and this one, as you can see, is more on, it's narrower than this one. I'm a fluffy girl, so I like to start mine a little more on the wider side at the very bottom here, so that it grows faster as it goes up. But if you're tall and thin and you like to have it, you know, have more length and not to grow so wide so quick, then on this one, you can choose. I didn't put it on the sheet because I didn't want to confuse anyone. I wanted to explain it to you. All right, where it says, on the sheet, it says the increase rows for my size, or for anyone who is, you know, maybe on the fluffier side, or you just want a shawl that's going to be wider, a little wider. Then we're going to do the increases and eventually the decreases on row 1, 5, and 9. We're going to do 3 decreases. So therefore, or increases. 3 increases, 3 decreases when we get to the decrease side. So we're going to increase every time we come to row 1, every time we come to row 5, every time we come to row 9 in this section here. And we'll go over this. But on this one that's not as wide, you will only have to increase on row 1 and row 7. So every time you come to row 1, you didn't increase going up, and then again at row 7. So it kind of gives it a little longer and a thinner look. Does that make sense? All right, so you get to choose, and I just want to explain that, but I didn't want to write it down and then maybe you got confused. So I'm working this one in real time, the one where I'm going to do 3 increases up, row 1, row 5, and row 9. All right, but everything else, we cast on the same number, we knit 2 rows. Does that make sense? All right, let's see if there was anything else different that I needed to tell you. All right, the increase up will simply be a knit into the front and the back of the stitch, and the decrease down side will be knit 2 together. Just your standard basic, you know, beginner or, you know, easy to remember increase and decrease. All right, so you have, you've cast it on, you've knit 2 rows. I'm just reading through now, see if there's anything I need to explain. Of course, we're going to work each row, and I will be showing you. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside, and I will be working on this one. Now, on our formula, let's go over the formula for everyone, everywhere, no matter which one you pick. All right, on the formula, it's laid out. I'm knitting this way, but once I put on all my stitches, 17, then I'm going to have 9 stitches for the lace. 9 stitches here. See there? And you'll need a marker. Then I'm adding an eyelet row. This little section right here in between this and here. So there are 3 stitches. And those 3 stitches, every time we're on the front of the work, you will knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1. So it always stays 3. On the back side or the wrong side, as you'll see in the directions once we start doing the patterns, we're going to knit. Yes, on the wrong side, we're just going to knit all the rows, no purling. But on the right side, on this little section here again, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1. Now, the last section is here. Of course, you see mine has increased because I've been working on it. But you're starting with 5 stitches, everyone, everywhere. She starts with 5 stitches. And we will increase. We will go knit up to the last 3 stitches before this marker, before marker. We will knit into the front and into the back of this stitch here. We're going to do it as we go, and then knit these 2 stitches, slide the marker, then do our eyelet, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, slide the next marker, so you just need 2 markers, and then work the lace. When you turn the work, everything is just done in knit. You just knit all the stitches. Easy peasy. That's why this one is so good, like I said, for beginners or returning knitters. So let's get ready. I have already worked. You can see that I've worked my sample a little bit. But I am ready to start row 1. Row 1, of course, is the right side. And now you're down here. You've knit 2 rows. You're getting ready to work row 1 and put in those 2 markers right here. All right, so I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to work together. All right, I think I've covered everything. All right, row 1 reads, knit 3, knit 2 together, yarn over. Now do that again because it's a sequence. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Now knit 1, yarn over, and knit 1. All right, that's easy. I think I'm going to take off my bracelet. That's easy, I think. Like I said, this is such an easy lace. I have used it so many times, from scarves to shawls to sweater fronts. Just a lot of fun. It's a beautiful edge. All right, here we go. Now you're down at the very bottom, and you're knitting your 5 or whatever. Yeah, you're knitting 5. I have to knit over. Now on row 1, since you're just getting started, you cannot increase on the first row 1. Remember, the increased rows for this size is row 1, 5, and 9. So that means I'm going to have to work all the way down to row 5 before, or you will have to work to row 5, and of course I'm going to be working it with you, before you start your increase. And I will remind you. But now I'm up here, so I will have an increase. Because you wouldn't be able to increase on that first row 1. You're just getting started. So anyway, let me just work over so that you can see, and then I'll make sure. Let me see how close. If I'm good, I'm good. I'm gonna stop moving that camera. All right, so here we go. Row 1. I'll read it again once we get over to the lace. So I work up. Now for me, you can just watch. So when it's your turn, you'll have an idea. I work up to the last 3 stitches where I'm putting this marker right here. Okay, this is the section that we increase and eventually will decrease into. So I work up to that last stitch, and this is what you will be doing shortly. All right, I will knit into the front and then pivot my needle and knit into the back of that stitch, just like that. Now, knit that stitch, and this is what I really want you to do to try to keep from having a hole. Take the stitch once you knit it and then pull it real tight. Just pull it tight. Now knit the next stitch and pull it real tight. Knit the last stitch before the marker, pull it really tight. Now I slide my marker. You're down here at the bottom. Now, this section on every right side row, knit 2 stitches together. It's just an eyelet row. I use it a lot. Knit 2 stitches together, now yarn over, and then knit 1. There you go. Now I slide the marker. Now we're up to your first row, and you should have 9 stitches. Just double check that you have 9 stitches left after this marker. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 is 9. All right, I'm reading it again. Here we go. It says knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now there's a sequence, and it is knit 2 stitches together. Just knit 2 stitches together, yarn over. Do it again. Knit 2 stitches together and yarn over. All right. Then it says there's 2 stitches left, but it says knit 1 stitch, do a yarn over, and then knit the last stitch. You have just completed the lace for row 1. Now on the end of that row, on the screen, you'll see a number. Not before you knit it, but after you knit this row, the lace section, you should have 10 stitches for the lace. So you can just learn. So that way, if you get lost or can't remember where you are, that's a help to know if you count your stitches. Well, oh yeah, I'm on this row. So I should have 10. I started with 9, everyone, everywhere. So let's go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches. And I'm giving you the stitch count at the end of the row, only for the lace. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to turn the work, and of course now we're on the wrong side, but you don't have enough yet to mark. But eventually you will need to put, because we're doing garter, all this is knit, and sometimes you can get confused if you're still new. You know, now which side am I on? Because it all looks the same. It's not like stockinette where it's purl on the back and knit on the front. This is knit on both sides. So eventually, but right now you're down a little too far. So hold on, I will remind you. All right, so all we have to do, this is the fun part of this shawl and why I like to share it with new or returning or beginner knitters. You're just simply going to knit all the stitches across. Yes, even on this wrong side. You just take your time, don't lose any yarn overs. Just like this. And you're just going to knit every stitch across. Slide the markers as you come to them and continue to knit. Do not purl, knit. Just like this. Slide the next marker and we'll continue to knit across. This is row 2 in every wrong side row. And like I said, since garter stitch, sometimes it is hard for some people to tell the front from the back. Just have a piece of contrasting yarn on hand, and once we get up a little further, I will remind you, take a crochet hook and we'll put it on this wrong side. And that not only does that tell you it's the wrong side, but it's a great visual to tell you just knit all the stitches. You don't have to worry about now, what was I supposed to do something? No, just knit all the stitches because it's your visual aid. And here we go. So I have worked row 1 of the lace, row 2, the wrong side. I simply knit all the stitches. Now, how does that sound? Doesn't that sound easy and fun? All right, so now I'll get ready and we will start to work row 3. So now you work your row 1 and then row 2. I will be back with row 3 on this new start lace shawl. All right, so now we're up to row 3. And of course, unless we're increasing or decreasing, you just knit across to the first marker. So I'm knitting across because I don't have to increase. This is row 3. If you're making this wide one, it's row 1, row 5, and row 9 that we have to watch for. So you'll make a note of that. So I just knit over. It's not increasing anything. And then I get to the first marker and I slide the marker. Now I'm in the little eyelet section, those 3 stitches. The front side, everyone everywhere. Knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 1. It just makes a nice separation. Can you see it? Just makes a nice pretty separation row. All right, now I slide my marker. Now we're up to row 3. Now row 3 reads knit 2 together, yarn over. Now do it again. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 3, yarn over, and knit 1. All right, that's easy. Well, you know, I'm working at night, so you may hear some of the night sounds. I've got the windows up, I've got something up to the window, and I can still kind of hear them, so the camera may pick it up. Oh, but the fun we're having. Trying to get my mojo back. Trying to get my mojo to come home. All right, so I knit 2. It's on the screen. Now I'm going to knit 2 stitches together. Then I yarn over. All right, repeat that. Knit 2 stitches together. And then yarn over. Now knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now yarn over and knit 1. See, it really goes fast once you get the hang of it. Now, remember there's a number at the end of the row that simply reminds you And if you ever need to count or you lose track, you can simply count. So I should have 11 stitches now. We've grown. So that's 2. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 1 makes 11. So I know I'm on track and I didn't lose any yarn overs. All right, so when I turn the work, guess what? This is row 4. This is the wrong side. We're getting close enough that we will mark it. And this visual aid tells me it's the wrong side of the work and to just simply knit all the stitches. Now, isn't that easy? So I will see you back at row 5. Take care. Now watch your yarn overs now. And of course, row 5 will be our first increase row. Back in just a minute. All right, I am knitting across. Of course, like I say, you only have a few stitches, but I'm up and you're ready to do your first increase in the increase section, which is this section here. All right, so you go up to the last 3 stitches before the marker. There's the marker, and I have 3 stitches. I'm going into this stitch here, and I'm going to knit into the front, pivot, and go into the back of that stitch, just like that, and knit that. Now here's what I want you to remember each time, so there won't be a hole. Sometimes there's a little hole, so pull the yarn real tight and hold it. Now knit the next stitch and pull it real tight, and then the 3rd stitch and pull it tight. Now I can slide my marker, and hopefully that has locked those stitches tight enough that there won't be a little hole. But it's just the nature of knitting, people. Some things, it's just the nature of the yarn of the stitch. So now I'm up to my eyelet row, and every one on the right side, every time, you just knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 1. Now we are up to the lace. And row 3 of the lace reads, knit 2. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. We're on row 5. Row 5. Jay didn't move her marker. Okay, row 5. I thought, now that sounds familiar. Okay, it says knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over. Now do it again. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Knit 5, yarn over, and knit 1. Whew, wouldn't want to make a mistake this early in the game. All right, so still on the screen, row 5 again. Knit 1. All right, now knit 2 stitches together. Sometimes it's hot and humid here, so I'm going to pull down on my stitches a little bit to get them in there. So it says knit 2 stitches together, and then do a yarn over. Now repeat that. Knit 2 stitches, put your needle in 2, knit 2 stitches together, then yarn over. Okay? Now knit 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I knit 5 stitches. Now yarn over and knit the last stitch. So now let's look at it. This is row 5. Even though you're down here at the bottom, you have just made your first increase, and pull those stitches really tight as you make that increase in the stitch I shared with you. All right? Then you do the center, the eyelet row, and then you finish up with row 5, the lace. At the end, if you count row 5, you should have 12 stitches. Let's just count. Make sure that's not, okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. 12 stitches. And that tells you that you're on the right row and in the right place. Okay, still down here. And so you're just getting a little taste of how it's going to look. But don't worry, it will start to grow very quick. All right? Now, when you turn the work, of course, you're on the wrong side. And as you can see, I have it marked, and as soon as you get a chance, you will take a crochet hook and put a piece of contrasting yarn. This tells you it's the wrong side, but also, remember what do we say? Just knit all the stitches across. Nothing to even guess. No guesswork here. All right, when you turn the work, I will see you at row 7. Now, if you're doing this, if you're doing the one where you want it on the narrow side, this will be your first row. You're going to be increasing on row 1 and row 7. Make a note of it, mark it down on your little notepad, because I didn't put it in the form on the sheet. So everything else is the same, except you will increase on row 1 and row 7. Row 1 and row 7. I'm using the little wider sample. I'm increasing on row 1. We just did row 5, and then we will look again at to increase on row 9. All right, I will see you back now at row 7. All right, so I am knitting across, getting ready to work row 7 of our lace. If you are doing the thinner size, then this is row 7. This will be your first increase, and you do exactly like we've done, like I've shared. You'd go into this stitch, but I'm not using that, so I'm just going to knit across. I go to the eyelet row, or the eyelet section. Those 3 stitches, just decorative. Knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 1. All right, now here we go. I slide the marker, and I'm ready. Row 7 reads, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together. Now do it again. This time the yarn over is in front. Yarn over, knit 2 together. Now knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together to end the row. All right, let's go. Row 7, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now yarn over and knit 2 stitches together. That's a sequence, so do it again. Yarn over and knit 2 stitches together. So can I get in there? All right. Now knit 1 stitch. And you can see I have 4 stitches left, so you need to knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit the last 2 stitches together. These are kind of tight right here, so take your time. You're not in a race. And there you have row 7 of the lace. Row 7, you should have 11 stitches. Row 7 is your longest row. It's the one that gives you the point. You see, eventually there's a little point here. They hadn't been steamed, so, but this is row 7. So row 5, we had 12 stitches. Row 7, we're going to start back down, counting back to get back to 9 stitches. So you should have 11 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. See, we're on the downward side now. Of course, you turn the work, and that's row 8. You just knit all the stitches. No purling, just knit across. I will see you back at row 9 of our pattern. And guess what? For me, or for most of us, we have an increase row. So back in just a minute. All right, so I am working on row 9. I'm in the first section where I've got to increase. So I work up to 3 stitches before the marker. And there they are. And into this stitch, the first one right here, I'm going to knit into the front, pivot and knit into the back, and knit that stitch. And then I'm going to stop and take time and tighten it up. Just really give it a tight pull. Then I'll knit the second stitch, do the same, tighten it up real tight, pull the yarn there, and then the last stitch, number 3. So I've increased, And now I'm over to my eyelet section. I slide the marker, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 1. All right, now I am up, ready to work row 9. Row 9 of the lace reeds. Knit 4, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over. Oh, here's something. Knit 3 together, yarn over, and end with a knit 2 together. Oh, okay. Let's see what we have here now. All right, again, row 9, knit 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now yarn over and knit 2 stitches together. All right, now yarn over. Now I've got to knit the next 3 stitches together. Not 2, but 3. So, and you may have to tug on them a little bit to pull them down. See if you can loosen them up to get your needle. There you go. Make sure you got all 3. Knit those 3 together. Straighten them out on your needle so you can see what you got. All right, then a yarn over, and then you knit the last 2 stitches together. Knit 2 together. Whew, all right. Should have 10 stitches. Let's see now. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 10 stitches on the lace side of the needle for row 9. Oh, and I said back a while ago, I said row 7 was the longest row. No, it's row 5. Row 5 has 12, and then row 7 starts counting back down. So we went from 11 stitches, so now we're down to 10. All right. So when I turn the work, I am on row 10, and you're going to simply, let's see if I can just get this. I think my camera's juiced up enough. Wrong side rows, you just knit across all the stitches, but don't lose any yarn overs. All right, I better save my battery. Okay, slide the marker, knit all the stitches. There's no having to figure out. All right, I will see you back on row 11. Be careful now. Don't lose your yarn overs. All right, back in just a minute. All right, we, not just I, but we, hopefully, got a little knot in my yarn. Let's see if I can get it out. All right, we are up to row 11. It's the last pattern row. Well, now I've got this funny little knot stuck in my yarn. Where this came from? I have to turn the camera off. Or if I don't get it out, I got it out. Okay, don't have to turn it off. All right, so here we go. All right, it's not an increase row or anything, so I just knit up, continue to knit across till I get to my eyelet row. So I'll knit 2 stitches together. This is row 11 now. Knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 1. Slide the marker, and now I'll read row 11. Let's make sure I lay it out here. All right. Every once in a while, do check your eyelet row and that you did do the yarn overs. Sometimes you can save it if you hadn't gone too far. All right, row 11 reads, knit 5, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 2 together. All right. We're on the downward slide. All right, here we go. It's on the screen. Knit 5. 1, 2, 3. That's 4 and 5. All right, yarn over. All right, I need to get the next 3 stitches and knit them together. So I'm going to kind of tug on them a little bit to loosen them up. All right. It says knit 3 together. Get your needle up under all 3. I had to force a little bit. Then knit those. Oops, I got a split yarn, so I'm going to take my needle out and try to go in again. It's best to just, if you got a problem, take your needle out. And just go in again. Alright? There was a yarn over, it was a knit 5, a yarn over. Now I'm going to knit these 3. So I have to do it there. I got it in there. Knit 3 together. And then 1 last yarn over. And then knit 2 together. Now I'm going to check and see. You can always read your stitches and count. So I have knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, knit the 3 together, yarn over, and knit 2 together. I should have back down to 9 stitches where I started. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 is 9. So I have finished the pattern row for row 11. Of course, when you turn the work, you're on row 12, which is simply knit all the stitches across, even though it's on the wrong side. And now it's a good time, maybe you can put your contrasting yarn so you won't forget. How about that? Alright, now when you turn the work, you have finished 1 complete run through of this beautiful lace, this beautiful edging. It is rows 1 through 12. Now you're just gonna, of course, now we're back up at row 1, and of course that will be an increase row. So you work the rows 1 through 12 as you continue, as your shawl continues to widen and grow up. I'm going to work some, and I'll see how much I can put on this video because I won't, be able to finish it today, tonight or tomorrow, so it'll probably be a second part coming. But I will work some more, and then I will check back in before I turn it in to be this part to be for him to edit, and just let you see how much I get done without my mojo. maybe my mojo will call me or send me a note in the mail that they're gonna come back home. If not, the show must go on. This is Jay, and I will continue to work, so I'll see you in just a bit. Take care now. All right, my friends, I am back. I am back to show you what I have done while I was off camera. I wanted to come back to give you a wrap-up of part 1 of my new start, just lace shawl. This is just one that I was just start working in real time because I got behind. You remember my mojo went on vacation and won't come back home yet. So I'm trying to create some excitement. So maybe my mojo will come back. But as you can see, I have worked off camera. And this is what I did. All right, just so you'll know. All right, I worked up this, or to help you know what to do your next step. All right, let me turn it this way maybe a little bit. Let's see if that will help. See if I'm working it. Okay, that's good. All right, so here we go. I decided or you need to decide from the first little point. Well, I guess it was better this way. From the first point right here, you're going to keep working the pattern rows 1 through 12 until you get to the top of your shoulder, the very top. And this worked out to be 12 points. I needed 12 of these points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, all the way up. Oops. So when I got to 12, the top of my shoulder, it felt really nice. Okay, I put a mark. And then that mark tells me, okay, then as I continue to knit, this portion will become the back, and I won't do any increases at all. This is why I use this little style, the back to style, because it just fits me better. But let me tell you the difference from if you've done shawls with me before. All right, on my teacher shawl or some of the other shawls that I've knitted, I tell you, you go up however many points or repeats of the pattern to the top of your shoulder. And if I did 12, then to get that long type shawl that you can wear it bandana style and wrap it around your front of your neck and then come down each side, okay, then you would have to do 12, the same number across the back plus one extra. That one extra gives you the center back. And then you do 12 down. So if I was doing like the teacher shawl, I'd have 12 up, then 13 of these points across the back, and then 12 down. You can, if you like that, or if you want yours to be really, really long, you can do that. But for this one, I'm going to show you something a little different. To get the more crescent shape, there's a shawl I did right in, I think it's the evergreen shawl, something had little leaves on the edge. Okay, to get more of that soft crescent shape, I'm going to go up however many points it takes. For me, it's 12. And then when I get to the back where there's no increasing, I'm going to take 2 repeats out. Yes, 2. So instead of doing 13 across the back, I'm only going to do 10 points. 10 repeats of these points across the back, which is going to pull your shawl into a soft crescent without us even doing any short rows. We're just going to have a nice soft crescent shaped shawl. So as you can see, I have my marker just to remind me. These are the front points. Now I'm starting my back points with no increases in the pattern. I'm staying in pattern but just not adding any increases. And I will do 10. And that's where I'm going to leave and show, leave you with. Of course, I hope you want to. This is great for beginners or returning knitters. This is the whole purpose, whole point. To get a new start. To say, okay, Jay, I was going to start, and then I tried a shawl, and then I wasn't sure, and it was a little over my head. I thought I could do it, but all the yarn, okay. Jay's Knit a New Start Lace Shawl. We're starting again. Now, just so you can see how pretty mine laid out, I want you to know that I steamed this. And real quick, I'm just going to just share with you real quick. I'll share it with you at the end too. But I took my shawl just so that you could see it. I wanted to steam it a little bit so that you could see the lace, that it's well worth you giving this a try. It looks like you are really an advanced knitter. But I take it to my ironing board. And on my ironing cover, I take straight pins and I actually pull these points out and pin them to the ironing board cover. Each point, just like that. Just stretch them out and put a straight pin. Now you might know I don't have any straight pins. Didn't think of that, did you, Jay? No. Okay, but you know the gist. Oops, hit the camera. So I would pull that out and then I'd steam. I use my iron steam, but you may have a steamer. Steam, just pull all these points out and just stick them right into your ironing board cover, every one, so they're stretched out. And then I take my hand and I see that eyelet row. You really want that to show, so I stretch it out like this with my hand. Don't overdo it. Now listen, this is acrylic yarn, so you do not have to kill it. Just lightly steam with all the points straight with the straight pins in them. Look at that lace when you stretch it out. See, this could do some more, but I'm trying to get done, people. It is so hot here. I almost passed out in the bank window. There were so many cars, people trying to get in the bank. Oh, Lord. Hope people don't have a run on the banks. Okay, but while everything was straight pin, I steam. Now, this is a trick to good, soft, pretty steaming on acrylic. Don't move it. Don't touch it. Sometimes I go get a piece of paper or a fan or anything and fan it cool. Just fan it like this, just take anything, a piece of paper or just something to fan. And you let it cool for a minute or so. You let the acrylic set back. That's what it is. It's acrylic. Where, the wool has to dry to set. Well, acrylic will set as soon as it cools. So once it's cool, then I can go and move the shawl, just like this. And then now you see it's not overkilled. Now my points could be pointed more, but like I said, I'm trying so hard to get this video up. He's supposed to pick it up in a little bit, and I'm running way behind. But you can see how soft, and if I had any little holes, they get they just close up because of the steaming. I guess it just pulls it together. I don't know, people. So that's where I'm going to end with this part 1 of us getting started with this new start. If you felt like you couldn't accomplish maybe another one you tried, maybe that was too much, okay, we're going to start new and step by step, stitch by stitch, row by row. And you're going to come out, and like I said, look at that lace. It's worth giving it a try. So what do you think of that? Well, all right, so now I have work to do, and you're starting. Take your time. Just go over just let the tutorial. I try to keep it pretty simple. I didn't try to add too much at that time. Eventually we'll add more, and I'll do more stuff in here, or we'll do different stitches, just like my other shawls you've seen. But I really want to try to get people into them, because it is one of the best and quickest little piece of garment, because everyone does not have time or the mind or the heart or just the whereabout to knit a sweater all the time. You know, I love my sweaters, and we're going to do some because fall is coming. And, of course, you know, the fall season, Thanksgiving and all that, and I do have some sweaters already started. But this is something that you can put on and wear anywhere. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. You can look pretty. You can put a flower. Look, you can even put a pretty little accessories. One of the accessories we have made using some of our pretty beads. Now look at those beads. I'm going to put in so you can see those pretty beads. Aren't those pretty? Look at that. Some of those, you know, beads I got at Joann's, and did the little I-cord. I've got a tutorial on that. But look how pretty. So simple. So pretty. And if I can do it, you can do it. So, this is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Trying to get my mojo. Trying to get Mojo to come back to work. Every time I try to call, they won't answer the phone. My mojo won't answer the phone. But look, but the show must go on. So I'm doing it the best I can without my mojo. But I've got my friends with me. Give this a try. You will absolutely love it. Now, I know people who crochet go, well, I just crochet. Well, I'm happy, you know, and maybe I'll do some, I'll revise the crochet one too. You know, I have some crochet ones. I have some pretty crochet, little simple shawls. I don't get into the real lacy and fancy and way over the top. That it's just not me, and I would not finish it, and I have nowhere to wear them, and I just want to keep it simple. So there's enough shawls. Go back and look at some of those if you want to start a crochet one, then I'll eventually come up with some new ones. But if you're knitting or transferring over or coming back, give this one a try. All right, this is part 1. All right, I will see you back at part 2, where we'll come around and start the decrease of our shawl. Take care and enjoy the trip. Enjoy this little simple new starts to just kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to bring some excitement. Okay, this is Jay. Let me get off, people. This is Jay. See you later.